up, y'all, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Yashica Electro 35 GSN. Let's get into it. So I recently had the good fortune of spending a bit of time with the Yashica Electro 35 GSN. Thanks, Jay. So I've always heard mixed reviews regarding this particular rangefinder, and I had to see what all the fuss was about for myself. Because you have people over here saying, oh, the camera is overrated, it's not that good, you're not going to like your images. And you have people over here saying the camera actually is quite good, quite phenomenal, quite reliable, and they can't live without it. So I had to see what was up for myself, and I did. I spent over 3 weeks, almost a month with the camera, roughly. Took it out for a couple shoots, did a battle with it, and now I can give my thoughts on the camera. Now, when it comes to reviews, there are channels that do a lot of technical breakdowns. That's not me. I'm not gonna sit here and talk to you guys about the specs. I'm not a stat sheet, unless we're talking about basketball or fighters. Then I can give you some rundowns, because I like to do that for those things. I don't really like to do that for my photography stuff. My reviews basically come down to how I feel about utilizing the camera, how it feels in my hand, and what I do and don't find annoying with the camera. So that's gonna be the basis of how I talk to you guys about this camera. With all that said, I had very low expectations of the Yashica. This is mostly because COVID. 2020 has been a rough year. My expectations are minuscule at best. This camera really didn't have a lot of room to let me down. And I think that worked out great for the Yashica, honestly, because I gave it a chance. With no expectations, all it could do was surprise me. And surprise me it did. And I'm happy I allowed it to. Let's get this review started with some photos, because I hate scrolling through videos looking for the photos whenever I click on a review video. So here's some photos that I took with this camera. All development and scans provided by Walters Camera Repair. If you're in the greater Los Angeles area, consider Walters for all your processing needs. And if you have a camera in need of servicing or repair, make Walters your go-to shop for quality and fair pricing. Website in the description below. And tell them Talia sent you. I have to admit, when I got the scans back, I was surprised at how well the camera exposed the photos. When I was making the photos, I couldn't see what my shutter speed was. All the control I had was picking the film and the ISO, picking which aperture I wanted to shoot at. That was it. A lot of the times while I was shooting it, I had those arrows inside the viewfinder telling me I was wrong in what I was trying to do. It was either the red arrow telling me I was overexposed, or it was the yellow arrow telling me I was underexposed. So I always had those reminders in my viewfinder letting me know, Talia, do better. And annoying, but appreciated, because looking at these photos, I can see the camera clearly knew what it was talking about. With that said, let me segue into a few stats regarding this camera. Not a full breakdown, but a couple standout stats that are unique to this camera. This camera is fully automatic, meaning you need a battery to operate it. This battery ensures that you can shoot it. It does come with a bulb mode. I didn't shoot anything in bulb mode. I do not have time for that. Like I said, this camera also shoots in aperture priority. You get to choose your f-stop basically. Let's jump into my list of pros and cons. Keep in mind, this is my list of pros and cons. Someone else may really hate the things that I say are pros, and someone else may really love the things that I say are cons. So take this all with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion. Pros. The camera produces accurate exposures. If you're lucky to get your hands on a Yashica Electro 35 GSN that has an accurate working light meter, you are golden with making good images, because, like I said, blown away with how well these exposures came out, considering I knew nothing of which shutter speed was being used. And you'll also have the assistance of the red and yellow arrow letting you know if you are over or underexposed, and you can make adjustments with your f-stop. I would say this camera is a step above a 35mm point and shoot, in so much that you do get to make a couple of decisions. You get to decide your f-stop, you get to compose the shot how you want it, and you get to focus it. So that is what makes it a step above a point and shoot in my eyes. Not having to think about so many things at once is pretty good. You can focus more on what you're framing. I think the camera has an attractive build about it. You see it and you think, classic looking camera, handsome looking camera. Let me go ask some questions about this camera if I happen to see someone utilizing it. So I think the Yashica Electro 35 GSN is a cute camera. Cute camera. It's not cute. It's interesting looking. It's attractive. There's levels to this attractiveness thing. You can't just say something's cute, because then people are like, I don't know if it's cute, but it's attractive. We can all kind of agree it's an attractive camera. For me, in my money-saving ways, the biggest pro about this camera is that it is extremely cheap to buy. I have seen this camera in thrift stores, at flea markets, on eBay. I've seen it priced for as low as $5. I have seen it priced for as much as way too much money, like $80 to $100. Don't spend that much money on this camera. Do not spend $80 to $100 on this camera when you can get this camera for $20 and it's working. I would say a good price range for a working, attractive, not corroded and green moldy looking body for this camera should land you between $20 and $60 for a working Yashica Electro 35 GSN. Don't spend over that. This person selling it tells you that it recently had a CLA, and that's like the only time I would say, okay, spend $10 more. The leaf shutter on this camera is very quiet. I enjoyed that. The camera is made completely of metal, feels good in the hand. The camera comes with a very fast lens, which produces very sharp images. The most wide open you can shoot this camera is at an f-stop of 1.7, which is very wide open, allowing you to shoot in low light situations. Fun fact about this camera, Peter Parker himself used it in the 2012 movie. So put that in your pocket and take it out this holiday season while hanging out with the fam. All right, let's hit these cons real quick. I don't particularly like that this camera is extremely reliant on batteries. A lot of my cameras are mechanical for a reason. I tend to like my mechanical cameras a little bit more because I don't have to worry about the battery going out. Fully mechanical. Requires a battery, but I still like it for some reason. While I do feel like the viewfinder on this camera is very big and bright, I had difficulty focusing with this camera. On really sunny days, I find it hard to see the patch and where my two images are lining up when utilizing this camera, and that was weird. Also, like when it's really overcast or shaded, I have to squint a bit more to focus my image. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the viewfinder, but I have seen better. I'm not gonna say that's what she said, but I don't like not being able to see my shutter speed and choose my shutter speed. I just like options, and not having that option just rubbed me the wrong way regarding this camera. So who is this camera for? Could be you. I think this camera is really great for beginners. Any person who is moving over to film and they are feeling insecure about jumping into a new medium, this is a great camera. Like I said, it makes a lot of the decisions for you. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of taking photos, and it tells you when you are over and underexposed. This camera guides you to take the best possible photos that you can. And I think if you start off on this rangefinder with the focusing patch being a little bit more difficult and tricky to use, by the time you move over to a slightly better rangefinder, you're gonna be really good at nailing focus. I think this camera would be great for travel. I think this camera would be great for hanging out with friends, at barbecues, or getting together with family, just snap some quick photos and not really worrying yourself too much with settings. I think this camera would really excel in those types of situations personally. So that's basically all I have to say about the Yashica Electro 35 GSN. I think it's an okay camera. I think people give it a bad rap, and it's unnecessary. The camera can produce some really quality images. It's all about the person behind the camera operating it. If you're interested in buying this camera, you've been looking at it because it is hella cheap on the market, go ahead and buy it, yo. A $20 investment for a camera that can produce some sharp images in low light situations is great. If you made it this far in the video, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. It really helps me out here on YouTube, allows me to be seen by other people, and tells YouTube that people care. And I appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and I will see y'all in the next one. All right, everybody. Peace. I say this because while I was shooting the camera, golly, what is that? It's like the camera armed itself. We in Transformers? You might as well run ahead, girl. We got the cars, we got Fast and Furious outside the window. They just won't let me be great. Choosing your aperture and how it correlates to which small aircraft. Where's my water? Damn it, it's far. Phone down. Phone up. It's got to stay hydrated. It's a desert.